Okay guys, so I told you that I was going to let you follow along with me on this process of trying this air fryer cauliflower bites recipe. So the first step, I'm gonna do it a little bit before I do anything else just because I wanna give the cauliflower time to dry out. So what I wanna do, it's 3:39 right now. I'm obviously not going to be making dinner right now, but I have this whole cauliflower and I'm probably going to do about half of it. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to wash and cut, or cut and wash, this cauliflower into much smaller pieces because, like I said, I'm gonna use about half of the cauliflower. Some of the recipes that I read on Pinterest and other places say to use the whole cauliflower. I have a tiny stomach and I know I'm not gonna be able to eat the whole cauliflower, so I'm gonna cut it in half and use half, like I said. So yeah, I'm going to show you guys that process. And then the recipe that I'm making is for a garlic Parmesan cauliflower bites, I think is what they call it. So the first step is just going to be cutting my cauliflower into like bite-sized pieces. So that's what I'm gonna do. Okay, so I am now done cutting the cauliflower. This is gonna be more than I can eat, which is fine because that just means that I'm gonna have leftovers. So we shall see how leftovers of this recipe does also, because this is the size bowl that I used, and obviously you can see there's quite a bit in there. Like I said, it's half of the cauliflower. I only wanted to use half because if I don't like this recipe, then I want to be able to try something else with the other half of the cauliflower that I have. So that's why I chose to use only half of the cauliflower. But it is only $3.50. So I'm just going to rinse these off and then let them sit and dry for a little bit before I start prepping the air fryer and everything like that. But I will come back and walk you through step by step how to make them, just in case you guys are curious to try this for yourself. Okay, so the first step is to preheat the air fryer to 390 degrees for like 3 or 4 minutes. And then while you're doing that, you are going to put some garlic powder and salt and pepper on your cauliflower. So I sprayed them with this canola oil cooking spray and garlic powder, salt and pepper, just like the recipe says. And I'm waiting for the air fryer to heat up, and then I will put these in there, and then you just kind of lightly spray them with a little bit more cooking oil and you put them in the basket. Okay, so now I have them in the basket. I just need to spray them with a little bit more cooking oil and then put the basket back in and let it go for about 8 minutes. Okay, so while my cauliflower is going in the air fryer, I am going to use the same bowl that I had the cauliflower in before I put it in the air fryer to make the sauce that goes with it. So you need 2 tablespoons of butter and 2 tablespoons of Parmesan cheese. I'm just going to put it in here. I'm not gonna do the butter in here yet, just because it needs to be melted butter. So I'm gonna put the Parmesan cheese in here, and then I am going to wait until it gets a little bit closer to the time that I need to make the sauce. But I just want to get as prepared as possible because it does have a garlic Parmesan sauce that goes with it. So like I said, I need 2 tablespoons of butter. You can use salted or unsalted depending on what your tastes are and what your dietary requirements are. And then I'm using the shaker Parmesan cheese just because I need to use up the Parmesan cheese that I have. So that is what I'm going to be using for the sauce. Okay, so I actually decided instead of using the bowl that I'm going to mix the sauce with the cauliflower in, when it's done, I am going to use this bigger measuring cup instead, because I do have to melt the butter to mix with the Parmesan cheese. So I have my tablespoon measurer, and I'm going to measure everything out so that I have the accurate measurements, because I do want to go off of what the recipe says. And then I don't use actual butter, I use the Country Crock spread. So I need 2 tablespoons of this, and yeah. So I might put this in a different container just because I don't know how the Parmesan cheese is going to do warmed up if I put it in the microwave while I melt the butter. So I might do this separately just to make sure I don't ruin the Parmesan cheese that I have in here. So it's been 8 minutes and it said to pull them out, and these look like they're getting burnt. But it said to shake them really well and then put them back in for another 5 to 7 minutes. So that's what I'm gonna do. And it's going again. So now I need to melt my butter and mix it with my Parmesan cheese. So then in a few minutes I can take my cauliflower out of the air fryer and toss it in this bowl to cover it with this little sauce that I'm making. Okay, so my sauce is ready, and now I'm just gonna leave it in there for maybe a minute more because I don't want it to be burned, and it was already looking a little bit burnt. So you just have to make sure that you keep this sauce warm so that it doesn't it spreads evenly over the cauliflower when you put it back in your bowl to toss it. Okay, so like I said, it does look like it got quite a bit more cooked than what the recipe said it should be. The only thing I did differently was I sprinkled a little bit of extra Parmesan cheese on top of this after I had already tossed it in the whole mixture. So I'm just gonna eat this out of the bowl, and then whatever's left over, I will put in one of my containers to have as leftovers for another meal, but I will come back and let you guys know how it tasted. Okay, so that was actually pretty good. I think that I would have liked it better if it was something, I don't know, like a different type of sauce or something. I feel like would have done a little bit better, but it was pretty good. I think next time if I tried it again, I would maybe do like a marinara sauce or something with the Parmesan. And I think I used a little bit too much garlic because I do have heartburn now. But it was good. So anyways, I put my leftovers in a little container so that I can have that for a meal at another point in time. But now the fun part is going to be cleaning the air fryer. So yeah, anyways, I am letting my food digest and watching the last episode of this show on Netflix that I've been watching. It is called Fool Me Once, and it's a very twisty, turny show. Like, things are happening that you never would have expected. So anyways, basically, I am going to finish watching that. Let me know if you try this recipe, if you like it. And yeah, I will talk to you guys in my next video.